The man of the hour, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., our 2023 Daytona 500 champ, joins us from a tour of Chicago bus. What is going on?
We're just doing the thing here, you know. I mean, we're promoting, I guess, myself and our team as the Daytona 500 winner, and also the Chicago Street Course race. We're getting it all done at the same time.
The Daytona 500, you are the champs, buddy. How's it feel?
We are the champs. It feels good. Somebody asked me about that celebration the last time of Daytona, and I was like, you don't plan on saying anything, so nothing came to mind this time. So I just soaked it all in there on the front stretch. But man, Corey, I was just, we were talking before we got going. I felt like, there was a moment there. I was like, man, the old 7 might get it done. You were leading the inside lane. You almost drug me down there because how we're moving forward. As you know, I mean, it's just so circumstantial, any line that you get in, whether it works or not. But, obviously we ended up picking the right lanes at the right time, and everything kind of fell into line and got it done.
So I think with the way these cars drive now and how important track position is, can you think back to like one decision you made or didn't make that you thought was the difference in the day?
Well, I can tell you, I made a decision or an error that kind of set up the rest of the race for us. We sped on pit road, the last stop, and I stayed out one extra lap to stay in the draft and let a couple other people pit. We came back down pit road the next time. Caution comes out. Wreck in turn 1. I would have been probably close to the middle of that wreck or the start of that wreck. So we missed that wreck, stayed on the lead lap, was able to come back in and get more fuel. And, I mean, I ran out of fuel coming back to do my burnout. So, I mean, you line it all up, and that doesn't happen, right? You don't come back in and top off. You don't have any issues. So, things like that just end up playing out perfectly.
Well, that's what it takes. When you win the Great American Race, it's all got to line up perfect. How many hours of sleep have you gotten since Sunday night?
So I got basically 3 hours after the race before doing media Monday morning. Went to Disney, got home at midnight, and had to pack and do all that. So 3 hours last night before flying to Chicago. But I mean, when you win the Great American Race, 3 hours a night is plenty.
For sure. Like Dick Trickle says, you need 1 hour sleep for every 100 laps. I mean, you really only need 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, we're good.
You're good. Now, I'm always curious, and I ask this question to a lot of different guys, but the Daytona 500 is something you dream about since you're a little kid, right? You always dream about, too, the moment you realize you won it. What is different now, 2 days removed from the biggest moment of your racing career, different than what you expected it to be?
I mean, it's all, I would say, pretty in line with what I expected. I don't think I expected, so many people to reach out from, say, different, sports and, music side of things. There's a lot of people, I know a lot of people watch our sport. We got the best fans in the world. But to see it, on that kind of grand scale is, we get lost, I feel like, in our sport sometimes, and we feel like it's really small. And then something happens like this, and I feel like it's kind of eye-opening, like, dang, like, that was our Super Bowl. Like, that is that big, right? And I would say that's the coolest part.
So I saw a picture that you posted with your father of you with your first BMX bike. What was it like when you finally got to see him, being that, he was a racer and he got you in the racing, then you finally get to see him in victory lane in the Daytona 500? What were those emotions like?
Well, he's been at all my Cup wins so far, and obviously a lot of the Nationwide Series championships and wins. But, I just got out and was like, hey, we finally did it. He talked to me before the race, and he's like, hey, be a little less aggressive than normal. Let's keep the nose clean on the car. He goes, you were plenty fast in the duels and in practice the other night without really pushing anybody. And I couldn't agree more. I felt really comfortable with our car. I felt like we had decent speed in the draft. We didn't qualify like we needed to, but I just got out and said, hey, we did it. We finally did it. This was, I think, my 12th year trying, and I look at all those other guys that, like the 18 or the 8 now, the 19, Smoke, when as many times as he tried, as many times as he won at Daytona, I talked to him afterwards. He's like, dude, savor this moment. A lot of us work forever to never get it. And so I know how special it is. And my dad feels the same way. It's awesome to share it with your family.
Who was one of those guys you mentioned? Some sports guys, some music guys, people you wouldn't expect to be watching the Great American Race. Who was something where you're like, oh, that guy texted me. That's pretty cool.
Parker McCollum, I knew what he would be watching. Morgan Wallen commented on an Instagram post of mine, I believe. Tyrone Woodley, I gave him a ride in one of the 2-seaters at Charlotte, and he reached out. I was like, oh, dude, that's super cool. And then Robbie Gold, good as gold kicker Robbie Gold reached out to me. Those are just a couple off the top of my head.
That's pretty. Are you wearing a ring right now? Let me see it.
Yeah, the ring's holding the phone, but yeah, here we go.
Oh, let's go.
Ring there, watch there.
Oh, we get a watch.
Dang.
Got the Rolly too. Yeah.
God almighty. Now I'm jealous. Now,
yeah.
We usually don't take fan questions, but we're going to make exceptions because when it's the greatest of all time motocross racer, Ricky Carmichael, we're gonna fire off his question. He asks, at what point in the closing stages of the race did you think that this dub might happen?
So I felt like the good Lord was watching out for us when we came down pit road and the caution came out. Everything from then on, I was like, if I can get myself in position, we're going to have a shot. And that restart, we worked our way up, into, I think, 7th at the time, maybe 6th. And the Chevrolets of the 8, 3, 24, myself, went around the 17 and 6. And so we got to 4th. I was like, all right, we're going to have a shot. And then, so from then on, I felt like, hey, if I play my cards correctly, we should have a chance. And, everything fell in position. Like you said, it's a Great American Race. It takes everything to go right, especially at the end. And the 17 and 6 picking the bottom, giving me the 6th starting position on the second to last restart behind the 22 was, I feel like, game changing for us, because when the 8, for whatever reason, decided to pull down in front of the 3 and do the old team restart there, it killed the bottom line, and I was able to push the 22 out. And then Noel Larson and I just shaked and baked down the back stretch and hung the 22, which was awesome. And then I thought him and I were just going to battle it out, for the next lap and a half. But caution came back out and had to do it all over again.
So you read the dark side of NASCAR Twitter. You've seen all the stuff people say about you, people say about me, all the people that don't win a lot.
I'll tell you, if you don't win all the time, you get hate.
You get a lot of hate. So do you think the hate changes now that you're the one wearing the leather jacket and got the fat ring?
Do you think those fans that talk trash, even they'll act like that they didn't even see that race just because that's what they want to do is talk trash like that makes them feel good. And you know what? That's good by them. I don't let it bother me. I feel like, friends and family, it does bother. But I feel like you got to have rhino skin, if you're going to be on social media, especially in the sports world. So I'm good with it. I just kind of laugh it off.
I saw before the race where your team put "We Believe" on a piece of tape and put it on your, the roll bar above your head. Having Mike Kelly on the box, leading your 45 employees at JTG. How much confidence does that give you? One, having him back, and two, knowing that they 100% have your back.
It's huge. I think that kind of got lost on me over the last little bit. I feel like how important that crew chief role of not just the setup of the race cars, the organization of the race team, but getting the most out of your employees. And, Mike Kelly believes in me more than I believe in myself most times, but that's what it takes to get the most out of me. And, he does that, I feel like, for every single employee on our race team. And when you're a small machine like we are, you're a small machine like LaJoy's used to, you got to have every little thing right. And with this car, as tight as the field is, those little things from the crew chief make a big difference and go a long way. And I think Mike recognizes that. He sat in the background and watched us over the last couple of years and took notes on what he felt like he would do as a crew chief again. And it's cool to see him get another opportunity.
Well, also for full context, he was your crew chief for both your nationwide series championships too. So there's a lot of history there, a lot of confidence and rapport built. I know you got a packed day, so the last thing you want to do is talk to me. So I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, the same one I asked for all of our special guests, because there's only one slouch that gets to record the show, and it's me. You're not a slouch anymore. You're a Daytona 500.
I'm upgraded. Let's go.
You're a slouch with a big old shiny ring now, buddy. Congrats.
That's right. Yes.
If you had to pick one type of race car and one racetrack the rest of your life, what are you going with?
Wow, that's tough. I grew up, I would say I grew up. I would most of the time say like a 410 wing spread car at like, I don't know, Kokomo or I-55 or something. But honestly, since racing stock cars, I would probably take a stock car at Bristol. Bristol is by far my favorite track. If we ran a weekly or a monthly series, like on a Wednesday night there, I'd buy a car from my team and just go up there weekly.
What about Bristol?
Bristol it feels like a dirt track, right? Like you can drive your car harder and make speed. And there's a lot of asphalt tracks and concrete tracks that the harder you drive, the slower you go. And I feel like Bristol is not like that all the time.
That's right. Question number 2, what's the most embarrassed you've been at a racetrack?
Most embarrassed I've been at a racetrack? Probably when we had group qualifying at Talladega and I missed the show.
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate to miss the show.
Not good.
Not good. Also, funny enough, you're 2 for 2. Austin Cindric misses the Busch Clash last year, LA Clash, wins the Daytona 500. You missed the LA Clash and win the Daytona 500. So maybe we're on to something. I got a shot. I got a shot next year.
The Clash is not what it's cracked up to be.
That's not. Question number 3, what was the moment in which you felt like you made it?
Probably not until maybe like my second nationwide championship. It's like you win the first one and I felt really good about it. I was like, man, but we gotta win more. We gotta contend more with these Cup guys coming down in the nationwide series. In 2012, I felt like we did that. And so I felt like I made it then, but then also felt like, over the last few years, I kind of fell off of it, so I had to gain it back.
Well, I'd say you gained it back pretty good Sunday night. Last question, and this is the most important one. Everybody wants to know, what was the Waffle House order?
Bacon, egg, and cheese hash brown bowl, extra crispy bacon, extra crispy hash browns, and a pecan waffle.
Ooh.
What do you get to drink at 2 o'clock in the morning?
I was hydrating with water, actually, at that time because Larson brought me a tequila in Victory Lane. I had a Sunny D seltzer. I had some Sugarland moonshine. I was mixing it up there for a while. So, yeah.
You needed the calories after climbing the fence by yourself. Why the hell didn't your team climb the fence with you? Where did they go?
Dude, they said they were going to. I told them, let me get done with this interview, and we're going to the fence. I turned around, they're gone. I think they looked at the fence, and they said, I don't think I want to get up there.
Well, I know you got a heart out here, buddy. We'll let you go. Thank you for jumping on Stacking Pennies. You are the Daytona 500 champion, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Flores.
Congrats, buddy.
Congrats, buddy.
Thank
See you this week.
See you boys this weekend.
All right.